are at risk for breaking bones more easily or being hospitalized from falling. So this is why it's an important topic. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about myths about falling. Some people don't even think about it because they're still pretty independent as they age, and they don't even think that they are at risk, but everyone's at risk. And I joke about how I'm clumsy and I slip or fall at least once a week. You kind of laugh it off, get up, but it's not a laughing matter when you can have a serious injury from it. So it can happen to you. It's also not a normal part of aging. So that's a running joke sometimes where people say fall, can't get up, or they're gonna fall, they're gonna do this as soon as they see an older person. But it's not normal. You can be strong and you can have good balance, you can be independent through the rest of your life. Feeling like you are disabled or feeling like you're having trouble moving around is not a normal part of aging. There's something that you should do about that. Today I will go over how to get up from a fall safely. I'll also demonstrate some simple balance exercises and some simple strength exercises to help prevent a fall. So we will do that once I'm finished with this part of the presentation. Another myth is thinking that you need to sit at home to kind of avoid falling. A lot of people get scared, especially if you've fallen before. A lot of people are afraid to leave the house and fall somewhere else, or afraid to even leave their apartment to come down and do activities. Really, over half of the falls that happen to older adults actually do take place at home. So don't be afraid to be active. Don't be afraid to go exercise. Don't be afraid to do something to get yourself stronger and get yourself able to avoid falling. 1 in 4 adults fall at least once per year. That is a very high number. So, really important to try to prevent falling. No matter what age, you can regain muscle. I tell this to people all the time. I like to show people a video of an 80-year-old female bodybuilder, and she started bodybuilding in her 50s. So no matter what age, you can be 99 years old, you can be 105 years old, your body is capable of building muscle. So you can learn new activities, you can learn new balance exercises, you can build muscle and get stronger no matter what age. So don't think, I haven't exercised in so long, or I haven't exercised before, why start now? You want to be independent, you want to be able to do things for yourself. Let's see, it's okay to use a walker or cane. A lot of times people who come down to exercise with me tell me they're trying to walk without their walker, or trying to walk without their cane, or trying to get back to that, that's their goal, to try to get back to that capability. It's okay to use it. If it means your safety, it does not always mean you're going to become dependent on it. So you can have your strength, you can have proper posture, you can have good balance, and also still use a walker and a cane. I know it is probably difficult to admit to yourself that you need that, but it's okay to use. It doesn't mean you're going to become dependent on it and you're just going to keep declining. You can still work on being strong while using an assistive device. Talking to someone about your concerns will not decrease your independence. So that is something that I can understand as well. I'm sure it can be a little bit nerve-wracking to bring it up to your doctor or your son or daughter or grandchildren saying, listen, I think I might be at higher risk of falling, I need to take the next step. I can see how you might think someone might say, oh, you need this, 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 and this, you need to go live somewhere, you need to do this. And that's not always the case. It just means that you're going to get help regaining your strength, regaining your ability to go through daily life without falling. So just keep those things in mind. I apologize, this clicker does not work sometimes. So hopefully you can see these okay. Facts about older adult falls. Like I mentioned before, 1 in 4 older Americans fall every year. This is every day, about every 20 minutes, an older adult dies from a fall. So that's pretty serious. Older adults who have fallen have twice the chance of falling again. And why is that? You might weaken yourself, you might get an injury, and then a lot of times you start to decline, but you need to take steps to better yourself and get stronger. Also, if you have that fear, if you've fallen before, you have a fear of falling, and it's kind of like a vicious cycle. You're more likely to fall if you have a fear of falling as well. 1 in 5 falls result in head injury or broken bones. That's no good either. $744 million total amount spent for acute hospital care charges associated with adult falls. This was from 2014, so I'm sure that number may have gone up just because of inflation. Hopefully it didn't go up because of more adults falling. So that's a lot of money spent for acute care just for falling. Some causes. You may have seen these causes before. Poor physical fitness or poor balance, which I mentioned. Some people don't think about it. Conditions such as arthritis, Parkinson's, MS, things like that. Specifically the Parkinson's and MS, you're having musculoskeletal issues, you're having some cognitive issues and causing you to trip and fall. But a lot of people don't even think about arthritis as being one of them, and I will talk about that on the next slide. Clutter in your home or even out and about. There are a lot of fall risks if you're grocery shopping and someone knocks things or there's a spill. But in your home, things like throw rugs, poor lighting, even a little bit of a lip in the doorway. So those are a lot of issues too. Some people forget medications, interactions and side effects from medications, dizziness from some medications, or say your blood pressure medication might not be the correct dosage and it's making you dizzy because it's bringing the blood pressure way too low. So things like that. Poor vision and vision changes as well. So osteoarthritis. If you have arthritis, I'm talking about specifically osteoarthritis, there's also rheumatoid arthritis, but osteoarthritis, you're more likely, there's 30% chance to have more falls, 20% higher risk of fractures. Why is this? So if you suffer from pain due to arthritis, you will have lack of joint function and you're more likely to not move as much because you're in pain. So causing that lack of movement, you're having less mobility, having some muscle weakness, and gait problems. So I always say this, exercise is medicine. It is true. So if you move more, you're not going to have as many issues with arthritis. A lot of times it's getting over that hump first. So getting over that hump, you're going to have a little bit more pain initially when you start exercising, but the more you move, the more your joints are lubricated. And I always compare it to kind of like a rusty hinge on a gate or on a door. Think of arthritis as being like rust in your joints. The more you kind of oil it up and move it, that joint or that hinge is going to move better. So it's kind of like a domino effect. If you have arthritis, you might not exercise as much, you might get weaker, and you might fall and break something. Preventing falls. So, like I mentioned before, don't be afraid to talk to your doctor. Go to a physical therapist, start a fitness program, attend balance classes. So walking, if you notice you're walking and you're kind of like holding on to furniture and holding on to walls as you're walking, that might be a sign that you need to go to PT and kind of start a balance program, start a strengthening program, and become more confident in walking again. You don't want to live every day being afraid to fall. Also, exercise programs. We have a lot here. I have a lot of strengthening programs. I have specific balancing programs, yoga, Tai Chi. I like this quote about Tai Chi. Tai Chi gives you a bit of an awareness of your body in time and space. So if you're not quite aware of your legs and your arms and you're just kind of walking over pavement and walk over a speed bump and trip or have trouble going up over a curb, Tai Chi kind of helps you of more awareness like that. And of course, range of motion, strength, things like that to get your legs moving a little bit higher. So those things all help with balance, all help preventing falls. Review your medications regularly. Be aware of Things like over-the-counter medications that might have a sleep aid in it, that can cause some dizziness throughout the day, grogginess, sleepiness, so be aware of that kind of stuff. Go over it with your doctor. If you see multiple doctors and they have you on different medications, sometimes they're not always aware of interacting with each other, causing dizziness, causing you to fall. Check your vision regularly. If you have poor vision, very, very, very easy to trip and fall over something. Make sure you have easy access to lighting as well as amount of lighting in your home. Like I said, just a little bit of poor lighting can really cause you to trip over something. I think we're pretty good here. I'm not aware whether all of the apartments have hand bars and handrails in the bathrooms and things like that, or if it's only some of the handicap accessible ones. Usually we're pretty good with putting safety devices in the bathrooms here, so just keep those things in mind. So here's some examples of what I mentioned. This is a medication record that you can take, and you can go over your own medications and kind of go over it with your doctor. This is from the National Council on Active Aging. It is really important. A lot of people forget that that could cause you to fall by having issues with blood pressure or dizziness or things like that. Some other things, Medicare does have a lot of free preventative services, or it covers preventative services, like things like diabetes screening, EKG heart screening, glaucoma tests. So take advantage of what Medicare offers to do these screenings so you can prevent yourself from having issues and falling. So I have that website if anyone wants to access this website, because there are also other screenings that are pretty useful, and there's even obesity screenings and counseling, so let me know if you'd like this website. Okay, how to get up from a fall. I'm going to go over these steps and then I'll go over them again when I actually demonstrate it. So if you fall down, I know it's easier said than done, but try not to panic. Take a deep breath, just sit still, no matter how you fall. If you fell face down or on your back or you're sitting, just sit still, take a few deep breaths. You need to calm yourself down, and you don't want to panic and kind of start scrambling. Once you calm down, assess yourself for injury before moving. So checking your range of motion. Move your fingers, move your toes, move your foot, your arm, your ankle, your knees, your hip. Move through some of these range of motions, even your neck. If you injured your spine or your neck, you're going to need to definitely sit still, especially your hip as well. But kind of start moving around. Make sure you didn't cut yourself, you're not bleeding. Call for help. So if you do have one of those assistive, like those buttons, where you just press the button and it calls for help, that's great. You can even yell for help. Your neighbor might hear you, or you're going to try to crawl to a phone. Definitely call for help right away, because you don't know if you injured your head or anything. So if you don't have any injury, then you can begin to move. If you have injury, you really need to call for help first before trying to move. So if you don't have any injuries that you know of, you're going to either try to scoot your bottom across the floor. So if you're already in a sitting position, you're going to have to roll over, or you're going to have to try to get to your hands and knees. And definitely use a sturdy piece of furniture to help yourself get up. And you're going to have to do some weight bearing when you first get up to make sure you didn't break anything. If you have pain when you start weight bearing, then you're going to have to sit down right away. So make sure you sit down right away. In general, even if you don't think you hurt something, do sit down right away once you're able to get to a phone. So I will demonstrate this stuff. I'm going to demonstrate strength exercises, balance exercises. Bear with me for about a minute or two. I'm going to switch cameras, turn on the lights, and we're going to demonstrate this stuff. On your stomach, or on your side, a lot of times you're kind of stuck and you can't quite get up, or you can't get over this arm. So what you want to do is get your arm as far under your body as possible, and then you can get some momentum and you can kind of get over that arm. Like I said, when you're first on the ground, whether you're on your back, your side, your stomach, move the fingers around, wrists, knees, moving around in your hip. Assess to make sure there's no injury. If to try to get either up to a sitting position. So you want to try to get to your bottom, up like that, and then you can scoot, 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 even if the phone is across the room, and if you have that arm strength, scoot yourself across the room to get to a phone, or scoot back to get to a chair. If you're able to lift yourself up, you want to try to get a strong leg up first to get yourself to a chair. Ideally, try to scoot or crawl to a phone first if you cannot get yourself up to a chair. Best way is to try to get to hands and knees, or quadruped position. If you have knee replacements, you're going to have a hard time kneeling. If you have one good leg, you're going to try to get that foot under you. So if you've tried the scooting and that's not working, you don't have that arm strength, try to get to those hands and knees. So see if you can turn, get yourself to that position. If you don't have knee replacements and you can get to this position, that's great. Then you can crawl to a phone to help someone help you up, or you can try using that chair. So then you just bring yourself to that chair. Whatever leg is strongest, try to get that foot to the floor and up. If you can't kneel, and you're kind of in that sitting position, trying to get your any foot to the floor, and using that chair, it's sturdy and it's not going to tip on you. So if you're near a couch, what you can actually do is take the cushion off the couch, bring the cushion down, and then it gives you a little bit of height to get up onto the chair. So it takes some height away from the chair or the couch and gives you height down here. So that is one way too that you can get up. So biggest thing, you want to try to get a foot on the ground so you can get your strength in that foot, stand up. So if you are able to get up, you want to do some weight bearing, maybe shift to feel if you're feeling pain. If you're feeling pain anywhere once you stand up, or if you're feeling dizzy, get yourself seated right away. Again, take deep breaths. Make sure you feel okay to try to get to a phone or call for help. Always sit down though. Always sit down, even if you're not feeling pain. A lot of times you have that hip fracture or a spinal fracture and you don't feel pain right away. That fracture can get worse if you're standing or moving around too much right afterwards, and it can spiral up and go into a foot break. So, biggest things to remember: trying to get to hands and knees, or trying to scoot somewhere to call for help. Trying to get a foot, at least one foot on the ground to help lift yourself up into a piece of furniture, and always sit down into a piece of furniture right away, even if you don't feel pain, and trying to calm yourself down. So those are some major ones, trying to get yourself up from the fall. Now, some exercises that will help you with strength from a fall are going to be definitely working those arms. So if I'm going to face this way so I can talk into the microphone a little bit better. If you have arms on a chair, you can use the arms, or you can put your hands either right behind your hips or next to your hips. Strengthen these arms. That's going to help you scoot across the floor if you need to. So you can either use the arms on the chair and push to lift your bottom up, and you can do about 10 repetitions of this, take a break, do another 10. Or if you have the hands here, you can kind of scoop your bottom forward, lift, straighten the arms and lift. So ways to do that arm strength there. Leg strength. So even just getting out of a chair, you can do 3 things. You can start easy and you can just make sure your hands are free so you use the strength in your legs. You can start easy and you can just kind of try to lift the bottom a little bit. So that's the easy version, keeping your heels planted. Intermediate type version, you can lift the bottom actually off the chair. For both of these, still make sure you're not leaning forward. Still make sure your chest is up and chin is up. And and you work that leg strength, like that. Hardest version is going to actually be standing up, sitting back into the chair, keeping your chest out, your back straight again. So one of the most important exercises you can do to strengthen those legs. So those two strengthening exercises are easy body weight exercises to help you if you were to fall. A lot of other strengthening exercises we do in our weekly classes that will help you stay strong to prevent fall. Just a few quick balancing exercises. So posture is another one that is important. You want to make sure when you're standing anywhere, if you're standing in your kitchen cooking or you're out shopping, you want to make sure those feet are at least hip width distance. We don't want those feet to be right like this and fall right over. So keep those feet at least hip width, maybe a little wider, so you have that wider base of support. Keep those knees loose, don't relax the knees tight. Keep the belly pulled in tight here. Again, strengthening these exercises, very important for you. So I do those exercises in class all the time as well. Or if you want some personalized things, I can definitely give you personalized exercises. Finally, for posture, shoulders are down and back. So we want bringing those shoulders down. We want the chin level with the floor. So you can do some chin tucking here. Maybe 10 repetitions of those. We don't want to be leaning like this. So poor posture is also another reason people lose their balance and they fall. You want to have a strong core, you want to have good posture. So simple balancing exercises you can do. I have the chair here, but if you're going to try them, make sure the chair is maybe in front of you that you can hold on to. But even just marching in place with good posture, you can eventually try to march slower, going even higher, so you're spending more time on one foot and getting used to that arm swing. Different ways to balance there. Standing in place for a balancing exercise, one of my favorites to do is round the clock. So you picture yourself standing in the middle of a clock, kind of where the hands are connected. And what you do is you kind of lean your body. So you're keeping your feet flat on the floor, but you're leaning your whole body to each member. So I'm leaning to 12 right now. I come back to center. I lean my body to 1. Come back to the center. Lean to 2. Back to the center. You just have to be cautious as you get back to like 5 and 6. You're leaning all the way back. So performing that once clockwise, performing that once counterclockwise is a good exercise to do each day. Kind of strengthens your feet, your ankles, gripping the floor. That's another great balancing exercise. Strengthening in the legs, again, like I said. So even balancing on one leg, kicking one out to the side, coming back in, getting good hip strength here. So you're balancing, working strength at the same time. Some of those things are before. Yoga. There's a lot of awareness of your body while you're balancing, while you're strengthening, all of those great things. But simple ones to do, like squatting, sit to stand, kicking out to the side here. I like really doing heel raises while looking straight ahead. So these are just a quick overview of balance. Like I said, I have regular balance classes. Right now, since we're live streaming, I'll only live stream a few of them because I prefer to be in a live class so you're safe. But keep an eye out on the schedule. Contact me for some more personalized workouts if you need something more personalized. Everyone can build muscle. Everyone can regain balance. Everyone can regain strength. It's up to you to take care of yourself. Up to you to prevent accidents from happening. Up to you to stay independent for the rest of your life and enjoy your life, enjoy your daily activities. So always contact me if you need help with anything like that.